All right, can you put your camera on, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm not too sure what was happening earlier on. Right, this is Debbie from Teacher Success Coach with another episode of the Female Educators Roundtable. But on this roundtable, what we are looking at is female empowerment. How are women empowered, and what are the triggers for them becoming empowered? And what are the barriers preventing women from becoming empowered? Right, I've got another episode, another female who will introduce herself to us and tell us where she comes from and start our journey.
Hi all. Hi all. Thank you for today. Thank you for coming here today. I'm Sneha. I'm currently in the UK. I'm born and brought up in India. I'm on the journey myself to empower women and to spread mindfulness and to spread positivity. I'm looking forward to today's session. Thank you, Debbie, for today.
Thank you for accepting the offer to come on at such short notice. I really appreciate that. Okay, before we actually came live, we were just talking about some of the challenges, etc. Can you tell us what some of the challenges are in terms of either barriers or things that empower you to become, things that trigger you to become empowered?
For me, I think the circle around me matters a lot. So I've changed and I've cut off a lot of people in my life. Those who just give me negative vibes, or who discourage me in any sort of way, I tend to talk to them, and if this is not working out, then I tend to cut them off. Yes, I know it's bad to say something like that, but I think over the last few years, I've had, and I've gained gained some knowledge over the fact that it's okay to do what you love. It's okay, and your opinion also matters. And there were a few of my friends, and like my family, like far relatives and all that, who said things like, oh my god, you didn't look that good before and now you look so pretty. Oh, that's so nice. And I don't think you can do more than just working for someone else. And things like, oh, I don't think you can run a business, or things like that. I am, I am a strong believer of, if you put your heart and soul into something, you can obviously achieve something out of it. You can obviously succeed. Mm-hmm. So I think, and I've seen a lot of women around me, like trying to degrade themselves and getting manipulated in a way that, oh, I can't do this. I don't think I can do this, because one of the reasons is because my family, I'm scared of my family. I have to support them. Yes, like that is a part of life, but I still believe that, you also have your choices and you also have your wishes to be fulfilled. Like, I think we women have to be a little selfish. It's okay to go around and, like get some time for yourself and like figure out what your passion is and strive towards that. Yeah, I think this is what empowers me to be a better person and to help everyone else around me.
Thank you. It's interesting. You've said there are 2 points I want to take up there. One of them, you said that you cut people off and you feel it's bad. Yeah. It's not bad, because some of the people, which you've also said, some of the people you cut off, they were very negative. So which means they're not serving you. So what is the point of having people there, because you've known them for a number of years, that you need to keep them in that space, even though they've been very negative to you? So on those points, there is nothing wrong with cutting people off. I do as well. If someone doesn't serve me, there is no point in me actually engaging with them, because I do not do negativity, because negative energy drains you. So therefore, there is no point in that. And I
Yeah.
totally agree with you there. Another thing is, like, I was talking to a colleague of mine yesterday, and I said to them, you know, because I do supply teaching, so I go from various schools. I spend 1 year in the school, and then I go to other schools. And I do not make friends in the schools I go to, or very few friends, because I'm saying to myself, I am not there to make friends because I've already made my friends. And some of the people, when I go to these schools, I find them very negative, whereas I'm very upbeat, I'm very positive, I'm very, you know, on the ball, oh, fantastic, great, etc. Those are my buzzwords. And not everybody and not everywhere you go, people are able to connect with that. So on those bases, like you say, if they're not serving you, there's no point in having them as a burden or noose around your neck. You know, so I totally agree with you there. Something else you said, which is interesting as well, in terms of, you know, women have to be more selfish. Do you think it's more selfish, or women exercising self-love and self-care? What do you think?
I think, because of what we have set standards that women have to be this way, I think somewhere, we need that assurance from the other person. So we forget that our opinions doesn't matter. Sorry, our opinions matters.
Oh no, you're frozen. Oh no. My guest seems to have been frozen. I don't know if this internet is okay. You were frozen just now, and I've just said my guest is frozen. I'm not too sure if it's
Yes.
mine or hers. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, my internet got disconnected. My internet is unstable. I'm sorry.
Yes, so is
Yeah.
mine sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, of what I know and what I've seen is that most women, we seek validation from outside. And with this fact, we forget about our needs and our wants. So, so in this area, I feel we have to be selfish, and we have to prioritize our self needs. Like, that is called self love, self care now, right? So yeah, I mean, be selfish to a level, not like toxicity level. Yeah. There's a limit to everything. That's what I believe.
Okay, thank you. Another thing, right? Do you feel that the culture in which you come from would determine how empowered you become, or how empowered you should become?
Yes, definitely. I think the culture and your family. So for example, so we humans tend to seek role models, right? We tend to be like them. Like, that's how we progress in life. So if someone keeps saying a person saying, "Oh, you can't do this," it's bad for you, you can't do this. So you don't have a space to think for yourself and understand what exactly you need. So I think, our background and our culture, the upbringing, all this uh, comes hand in hand when it comes to empowerment as well, women empowerment as well. uh, like, example, even now we can see there are so many gender pay gaps, and like, women are mostly facing violence, like cyber crime and all that. So I think, um everything together, it's all in the upbringing. Like, everything cannot be stopped at once. I really think that, it can change the perspective, right? So from small age, if I've been told that, oh, you can do what you want to do, you can do, you can support, you can support what the other person says, or if you can support their dreams. If the same thing has been told to the men or the women, they would do that. And if we've been told that, there'll be a woman who would fix a guy's life, once you get married, this woman would fix your life. I think that's something wrong. So yes, I think everything, like the culture, the background, everything comes in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Do you think that your background affects you in terms of how you become empowered?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I think the support system is very crucial when you're growing up. So I've grown up with a lot of different varieties. So I've grown up taking care of my mom. I've grown up consoling her. And I've grown up, learning from my dad that, it's okay to, like break down or, cry, and it's okay to fail, and it's okay to learn, it's okay to make mistakes. And yeah, like I've grown up with a lot of personalities. Like I've grown up with a person who is a logical thinker and a person who is a perfectionist. And in a way, like, my friends also shaped me for who I am. And yes, the um upbringing, yes, that matters. Yes, that actually builds the support system in general. Yes, it plays a very important role. That's what I believe.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. But what do you think educational institution could do to empower young people? Because you've just come from an educational institution, and what do you
Yes.
think that they could do to empower young people? Because I'm sure you could actually talk about the fact that you just come from institution and you see some of the women, the young women, and a question is, how empowered are they in relationship to holding their own and standing in the power?
Yeah.
So what do you think that education institution can do to ensure that these women are empowered? So what role do you think that institution can play?
I think, so I think this empowerment has to be, rooted in young minds. Like, it takes a lot. I mean, if it's built from small ages, it can grow bigger, right? So I think with when it comes to empowering women, I think one of the biggest stigma would be gender equality, and ensuring every gender gets equal opportunities, like the basic needs, healthcare, and education. uh yeah, and like if a so there are so many orphanages, and there are so many children who do not have access to education. So I think 2 days back I came across a gentleman who's now teaching 500 plus children, like who's now educating 500 plus children, because they didn't have a general education system in that area. So I think it's also with the common man that um, to make some policies, you know, to put in the word to the governments and education systems, saying everyone deserves place in the society in terms of education. Yeah, and with education, I truly believe that everyone, women and men, can be empowered. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So let's just look in terms of education, right? School. Do you
Yes.
think, how do you feel that these teachers or the lecturers empower you all in this institution? What do they do to make you feel empowered? Or do they do anything to make you feel empowered? Or do you think that the teachers disempowered you? What is it? Does the lecturer empower you, or do they disempower you? What is it?
I honestly don't remember anything from school. Like I was a silent, introverted girl in school. But I believe, since teachers would be our role models during our education, so if they say things like, oh yes, I mean, you can do whatever you aspire to do, and you have your own wishes, needs, and it's okay for you to be wrong, it's okay for you to be um uh express emotions, it's okay for you to fail, and it's okay for you to like try out new things. I think women would be more confident in themselves and would tend to do things that they want to do, and they would not seek validation from someone else. Yeah, I think that is one thing that teachers might, you know, do,
That's brilliant, though. Thank you. I understand that, you say you were a silent child, but let's, okay, because I also know that you went through the education system, you went to university, etc. Right?
Yeah.
Do you think that when you actually got to university, do you think that the teachers that you saw within the institution, the lectures rather, do you feel that they empowered you all to speak in tutorials or to speak during lecture times, etc., in terms of asking questions? Do you think that the lectures enable you to feel comfortable to ask questions?
Yes. I think with the universities currently, uh, the change in scheme and how they teach people, how they teach the students. One thing that they have is interactive sessions. I think that is the best thing that they've done. So luckily, I've been a part of these interactive sessions in my undergraduate as well as my postgraduate degrees. So I did have some opportunity where I can speak, I can ask questions, and at the same time, my teacher, there was this one teacher of mine. She inspired me to a next level, I would say. She encouraged me to learn more, and encouraged me to set goals, and like this is what you're supposed to do. Like no matter if you're a girl or a boy, you should have a goal, you should strive towards it, and it's okay to fail. Like she planted those seeds in me. Like somewhere in my head, I just wanted that, a woman telling that to me, that it's okay to do that. Yes. So yeah, I did have pretty good experience, I would say. Like I think I don't know, I was lucky, or maybe I just found the university, and my lecturer was good in a way to empower me to strive better, and to be a better person. Yeah.
Thank you. That's brilliant, because as a teacher, I do feel that in terms of the institution, I do not feel that they support students enough to become empowered. I feel that a lot of teachers disempower the young people, like telling them that they're not able to do X, Y, and Z. And I think it's wrong. Right? Because I think, who are we as teachers to tell children that they're not able to do that? Right? And that's one of the things I feel that in the institution, they don't empower them. I've lost you.
Yes.
Yeah, Karen. It's okay, I'm listening, I'm here.
I think even I've come across a lot of teachers like that, but luckily I found one, and who is supportive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It is true, and I feel it's quite sad. And I do feel that in order for some of the things that education institutions need to do to empower young people is to give them a voice. It's not about the statistic of completing the test. It is about making them become empowered enough so they could actually ask questions, instead of, as you said earlier on, you were a silent student. And I think that's not very positive for institution. I think they need to make sure that every child have an opportunity to speak. I think you're frozen again.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for that. Another aspect is, what do you believe are the most significant barriers to female empowerment? What do you think, prevents women from becoming empowered?
I think one main issue is the support system. I truly believe the support system is where would define you where you would go further in your life. I think once a person realizes if the support system is good for them, or bad for them, like if they strategically analyze that, and I think they would be able to overcome their fears and reach their goals. I I think in this era, professionally speaking, if a woman is working in a corporate where, if it's a male dominated area, for example, the financial industry, or the upper management, something like that, I think we are just belittled in a way that, oh, I don't think your opinions matter here. Like, I have seen women, who are directors and who are board members, but I I still think that, the overall rates would be, the overall decision would be uh, taken with the man's, or uh, with the man's opinions. Yeah. And um yeah, like over the past few months, I've come across a few articles, articles where it's said that, it's 2023 and it might take another 286 years to achieve gender equality. Like when I saw that, I'm like, okay, and we still have um like a lot of issues to encounter. And yeah, I think it's a long process. And another thing that we can talk is about the education system. Like, not everyone is being appreciated in the education system. Like, I think men is given different values and women is given different values, and we have been set and targeted that, okay, this is your goal, you just have to do this. Yeah. And we did talk about the cultural aspect, right? So majority of the people now, of what I've seen, like in my university, like they just have it's like uh, the they're just getting their degree, and they're just doing that for the sake of getting married. They just think that marriage as a label. They don't do it out of love, or they don't do it out of compassion or sharing the life with someone else, right? uh, I just come across a lot of people who are rushing into things, and they just want to do this because everyone else is doing around them. And I feel that in a way it's pulling women back, pulling women away from what they really want to do. Society is setting boundaries that you have to get married in this age, and you have to figure out your whole career by 25. Yeah, like I'm in this state right now. Yeah, so it's yes, it's a lot of pressure on yourself. But yeah, I think with understanding what really you need would be one step in female empowerment.
Thank you. It's interesting that you've said that women are getting married because they feel that it is the thing to do.
Yeah.
Right. Do you feel
Yeah.
that, do you think that disempower women by getting married because of the culture they're in and there's the expectation?
Think so. I think so. So I was working at this one place. So I was doing a part-time and I came across one of my colleague who said, "Oh, I don't like working here. I'm just doing this because, I have no other choice. My husband asked me to do this." So I don't know, like with this statement, I cannot understand if they are willingly, if they are willingly gotten into this marriage or if they are forced into it. Or I don't know, it's so confusing, when you think about all these matters, where uh do women, like, do they, I mean, do we not realize that we are humans, and we are humans in the end of the day, and we still have our own needs. um it's just too confusing, and it's just too sad to hear something like this, even in this era, which is claiming to be modern era. Yeah.
Mm. Yes, thank you for that. That is really interesting where a woman is saying that the only reason why they're doing this job is because their husband asked them to do it. So the question is, do you not have an independent thinking mind for yourself? It is quite sad, as you say, that women are not even identifying their own needs. They're doing it because their husband tell them to do it.
Yeah.
So therefore, this is a woman that is not empowered. This is a woman who is doing it because the husband say, this is what we want you to do.
Yeah.
So therefore, it is driven by a
I think
culture,
we
isn't it?
need more awareness. Yes, I think we need more awareness, and um some a little more confidence, saying, okay, I can do this. I would want to do this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but how do you think women are going to get the confidence?
um One thing is, first step is what we are doing, empowering women, right? Yes. I think spreading awareness about this, and telling ourselves that we can stand on our own legs. I know that there would be some circumstances. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Okay. I know there would be some circumstances, involving like personal life, family, because yes, I know family is very important. At the same time, you can still stand on your legs, right? Like, yeah, I think women empowerment is like a big journey. It's a long journey. So yes, I believe in one step at a time. So maybe this is our first step.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree with you there. I really agree with you there. Okay, thank you. The last question before the last. What can we as women do to empower young people? Because you are in the young people group. So what do you think that people like us, mature women like us, can do to empower young people like you?
Um, I think first one is to is to educate. First one is to educate people, and tell them to believe in themselves, and find their role models, and find the correct set of people. There is a saying that your 5 people would define who you are, right? So finding the 5 people who actually encourage you, who still criticizes you, but who still supports you in the end. And yes, and your teachers, and uh like knowing what you want to do. And yes, at the same time, setting your boundaries, your limits, to how you can do. So I'm a humble person. So, I would not do things that would end up hurting someone else. Like, I would not do things purposely, right? Like, I have my boundaries and I have my limits. So I think starting with education and believing in yourself, yes, I think that this would put in some inspiration. Yes, influencing people in that way.
Thank you. And final question, what three suggestions can you give to women to empower themselves? Because, for example, you just from university, so therefore, let's say your group of women you might be connecting with, what three suggestions can you make to them in terms of for enabling them to empower themselves? What three things would you say to them, sorry, that is necessary for them to empower themselves?
Yes, I think this one would depend from person to person, and yes, woman empowerment is a long process. I think where we can start, I would suggest, is believing in yourself that I can do better. That is the first thing that we can do. Second one is that, you know, um, I don't know, cutting off toxic people, cutting off toxic people, like
That's a
realizing if
fantastic
there's,
one. Yeah.
yes, if this person is actually a friend, or, actually someone who don't appreciate who you are, right? So, yeah. And then the third thing is what I really believe is supporting other women. Supporting other women, like, there's no competition, like, I truly believe, like, this in this world there should be nothing like competition. A like, if I am doing something in my life, it's my journey. If you are doing something in your life, it's your journey. Like, I shouldn't be jealous, or, I shouldn't be upset that you are going way ahead in your life. Like, it's a part of, it's your journey and it's my journey. I think this is also one big factor that not everyone realizes. Yes, I think these three are my biggest suggestions.
Thank you so very much, because those are three powerful ones, especially for me, cutting off toxic people. Because I did a post today on toxicity. There's sometimes we don't realize that we are in toxic environment and toxic relationship, because we think it's because the person, because the person doesn't say something negative. But it's not only what they say, it's their action as well. The action have a lot to do with, how they see us, and some of the slight remarks they might make, and some of the action they might be demonstrating. Those are all things that would identify to us whether or not that person we're dealing with is toxic. And we also need to realize toxicity doesn't necessarily have to be physical, emotional. It could be anything, because we tend to think that being in a toxic relationship is when someone abuse you, physically abuse you. No, it could be somebody, what they say is toxic, like you're not good enough and belittling you. All those are powerful words that could take you off the rail and make you feel that you're not good enough, and make you feel that, you cannot do, because this is something you said at the start of this session, that people who do belittle you, and that sometimes we don't even realize that we've been belittled, because we're so used to hearing this concept. I would say, oh, this is Jane, she always do that. Why should you accept what Jane is saying? That's the thing about it. And there's some people who tend to manipulate you. Manipulation is a toxic situation. And someone who gaslights you, saying, this is not what I said. And that's a big thing right now in terms of how people gaslight you and make you start doubting yourself. That is also, in terms of toxic situation. Because the minute someone forces you or make you doubt yourself, this person is toxic. You need to move away from them, because you then start saying, did I really hear that? Or am I at fault? And then you begin to blame yourself for what the person have said. But that person is very calculating, because they're gaslighting you, because they want you to feel that, you know, you've said that and you know you didn't.
Yes.
You know? So if you know, so one of the things we need to be very conscious of is, in terms of toxic relationship, doesn't necessarily have to be a physical abuse situation. You also said something earlier on in terms of cyberbullying. All those are toxic, and some people have toxic childhood, whereby the children are, you know, the television or the social media are the children company, and that's toxic, because it means that the child is not living a normal, quote unquote, childhood. The child is being manipulated by social media. So all of those things, we need to be very conscious in terms of toxicity. It doesn't have to be physical abuse, you know?
Yes, 100%. Yes, I agree on everything that you said. Yeah.
Have you got anything else you want to say before we actually wrap up? Because we're coming to the end of the show, and I do thank you for that, for being part of this journey.
Yes, it was a great pleasure meeting you today. I hope we can catch up sometime, because we live nearby.
I know. Yes, exactly. Thank you so very much for taking the opportunity and accepting my offer for you to come onto the show. And I'm aware it was last minute, you know, so I'm really grateful for that. You know, it's really important.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you. Yes. It's really important that we start identifying, as women, some of the triggers and some of the things that prevent us from becoming truly empowered and truly standing in our own power. Because too often, you know, we give away our power to other people, either consciously or unconsciously. Because if you're feeling fearful when someone is talking to you, you are giving away your power to them. And if you are not standing in your power when your teachers are talking to you, you know, because you're actually allowing them to belittle you and tell you that you're not good enough, you're giving away your power to them. Especially as women, we need to start taking our power back. And one of the sad things is, some of the people that prevents us from becoming empowered are women themselves. Which is quite sad, because I remember you mentioned that at the start of the show when we were, you know, when we hadn't gone live yet, that, you know, some women are the ones that prevent you from becoming empowered, because they belittle you in every which way. You know? It's quite sad. It's really sad. And there's sometimes I think, and there's sometimes I think when women belittle other women, sometimes it may not be intentional. Sometimes it's to do with their background, or lack of confidence.
You
know.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you very much, and thank you very much, my Facebook people. I'll be on show again on Friday, when we'll be looking at home educating, homeschooling, and how powerful that is in relationship to the traditional education, and increasing awareness that there are alternatives. You don't have to send your child to the mainstream education, and your child could come out with a fantastic education. And it also means that your child could actually be even more focused, determined on what they want to do, and they just focus on doing what they want to do and doing what they love to do, instead of doing all these subjects that are necessary. Because a lot of us within the education system have done a whole lot of subject that doesn't mean anything. I did classical studies, I did commerce, these O levels. What are they doing for me? Zilch. Because I'm in psychology. So therefore, from young, what I should have been studying is focus on psychology or focus on sociology, instead of taking all this useless, by the way, things that after you've done the GCSE, you never even look at it again, you know. So that's some of the power of home educating, homeschooling. So that's what we're going to be talking about on Friday. And because another home educator will be sharing his or her journey with us. And on Saturday, we are looking at female educators. What are some of the challenges that we are experiencing as female? What are some of the things that are going on with the schools we're teaching in? You know, are the schools becoming so toxic they're not allowing us to breathe or to demonstrate our creative skills? You know, that's some of the challenge I have in terms of me in certain schools. Certain schools are okay with me being there, you know, in terms of me empowering other students, etc. But some schools feel kind of threatened by me being in there because they feel that I'm trying to de-school the students, because I just feel that sometimes being in the education system is not everything it's make out to be. So that's what we'll be talking about on the Saturday show. Is it business as usual when we go back back to school? Or are they really considering or taking into or being conscious of the young people's minds in terms of where their mind is after COVID? They're all over the place. And it's demonstrated in their behavior, because I was talking to a counselor today, and that's exactly what she was saying to me. She said there's so many children that is referred to her, and she and a part-timer. So those are some of the challenges educators are facing. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening. Take care, stay blessed, and follow me on all the social media platforms. On all the platforms, plus my YouTube channel, plus sorry, my Spotify podcasts, where I talk everything education. If you guys want to reach out to me, feel free to do that. If you want to come on any of my show, feel free to do that also, because it is important that, especially as women, we start sharing the word so that we are taken seriously. Anyway, guys, take care, stay blessed, have a fantastic evening, night, morning, where you are. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys on